Hey friends, Becca here. I've been thinking a lot lately about the difference between learned behavior and inherited responses. I'm talking genetics. I think we've been taught to believe that everything about us is either conscious choices or chemical imbalances. Like every reaction, every fear, every habit can be explained away. That's just how you were, or that's just your personality. But I don't think it's that simple because some things that we learn, some things that we feel, well, they're a little bit older than us. Learned behavior is easier to identify. It's the stuff that we pick up by watching people around us, the way your parents handle stress, the way people speak to each other in your home, whether emotions were allowed or punished, whether silence actually means peace or maybe even danger. That's all learned behavior. You watch it enough and your brain files it away as normal. A child raised in chaos may grow into an adult who feels uncomfortable in calm environments. Not because they want the drama, it's because their nervous system learns that chaos is familiar. Familiarity feels safe, even when it hurts. Some people learn to apologize just for existing, learn how to stay quiet to avoid conflict. Others may learn to overwork because rest, well, it's considered laziness. Some learn that love must be earned or to expect abandonment before it even happens. That behavior is shaped by your environment. But the inherited response feels different. It's the thing that shows up before your mind even catches up. It's the body reaching before logic enters the room. It's the strange weight of grief over things you've never even personally lived through. It's the way the entire family carries the same fear for generation after generation. It could be why some people have anxiety around scarcity even when they finally have enough. It's why certain patterns repeat in the bloodline even when nobody talks about it anymore. And I know people get uncomfortable talking about this because immediately they think it sounds mystical or dramatic or could be something they have nothing to do with. But honestly, science has already showed us pieces of this. Trauma changes the body. Stress changes how the body works. Long-term fear, yes, it changes how the body reacts to its environment. And when generations live through survival, violence, displacement, addiction, poverty, racism, war, instability, abandonment, or chronic stress, those responses don't just disappear because time passed. The body remembers survival, and even descendants can carry echoes of it. Not necessarily memories like movie scene kind of way, more like tendencies, sensitivities, hypervigilance, emotional wiring, survival patterns. And I think sometimes we confused inherited responses with personal failures. Someone might say, well, why am I like this? Or why do I panic so much? Or why do I shut down? Why do I feel unsafe even when everything is okay? And maybe part of the answer is yes, you've learned certain behaviors. Because let's be fair, family traits do pass down as learned behaviors. But maybe another part of it is that your nervous system, through your DNA, inherited ge- uh, general responses to that you have never truly released. I think about this a lot with women, especially. How many generations of women survived instead of living? How many stayed quiet because speaking up wasn't accepted or even safe? How many disconnected from themselves just to make it through their life? How many normalized exhaustion or carried everyone else while nobody carried them? And then I wonder why so many women feel chronically anxious or disconnected, exhausted, or even numb. Maybe because this is a survival mechanism that became a family language. And the wild part is, inherited responses don't always come through the pain. Sometimes it could come through their strengths. Sometimes you inherit resilience, intuition, clarity, deep connection of land, or healing traditions. It can be ways of nurturing, storytelling, or ways of surviving the impossible things. Not everything passes down is broken. It's the wisdom, the medicine that we truly live off of. And I think that matters because modern culture spends so much time trying to separate us from where we came from our families, from land, from stories, from our ancestries, from communities, from memory. We are taught to see ourselves isolated individuals just floating around, disconnected from everything that has built us. But the human body has never really worked that way. We are shaped by our environments, by our memories, our repetition, by the history that surrounds us, by our culture, by the emotional atmosphere we were raised inside of. And honestly, I think healing starts by changing when we understand the difference between the learned and what is inherited. Because learned behavior can often be unlearned through awareness and practice. But inherited responses usually require compassion first. You can't shame your nervous system into feeling safe. You can't bully yourself into healing. You can't hate yourself and become whole. Sometimes the first step is simply realizing the response may not have started with us. And strangely enough, that realization can remove so much shame. I'm not talking responsibility, but shame. Because responsibility says, now that I see it, I can work on it. Shame, there is something fundamentally wrong with me. This is the thought that doesn't help anything. I think a lot of healing is learning how to separate your true self from the survival version of yourself. And those are not always the same person. The survival self reaction, guarded, hyper alert, always bracing yourself for what may come. But underneath that, there's usually someone softer, someone grounded, capable of joy, connection, rest, creativity, and peace. A person who may have never gotten enough room to exist, maybe that's part of healing too. It's not the action of becoming someone new, but finally becoming someone safe enough to uncover who was already there. I don't think that we talk enough about the difference between what we're taught to us and what is carried through us. I think understanding both changes the way we look at ourselves and each other. If that resonates, let's continue the conversation in the comments below. I'll talk with you soon. See you later, my friend.